The two primary ways that I've used it and the two primary ways I like using it, I have taken to explaining paper assignments on a video that they watch at home. So they will get a printout of the assignment, but rather than going through all the details, what am I looking for here, explaining all of that in class, taking up that time, class starts to drag, and then class is dead and they don't want to talk. Instead of doing that, I can send them home. They watch it if they need to. If they don't need to. They can go back to it over and over again if they have questions. The other is in giving them a model of how to read difficult texts, breaking down complex paragraphs, complex sentences, helping them figure out how do I get through this difficult kind of reading. And one thing I want to do next semester, I'm increasingly asking my students to submit reading notes on these readings, and video would be a perfect way. I take them through, here are the questions I've asked you to think about. How do you start to think about what the questions are asking you to look for? How do you work through the text? Out of the text, what does a good set of reading notes coming out of that text look like? So my students come into my class, and even my best students have a lot of practice reading textbooks, reading quickly for main points, and that doesn't help them much in reading philosophy. I'm asking them to read dense primary texts and read slowly and find arguments, and they just have never learned how to do that. By taking them through a passage in the text, I can help them find where are the premise indicators, where are the conclusion indicators, how do you figure out the indications the author's giving you, when am I talking about my opponent's position, when am I talking about my own, looking for all of those things that they've never practiced looking for. I can also get them to take apart a sentence or take apart a sentence for them, and how do you figure out the pieces? How do you then fit it back together? And I can, through the video, I can both walk them through a particularly difficult reading, one that I know they're going to struggle with, and give them some confidence they can in fact get something out of that reading, and at the same time model for them and give them practice. Here's what I need to do when I go back to these difficult texts, and how do I approach the next reading from the same author but on a different topic.